Welcome back to Live Like It Matters, the podcast that I created so I could just hang out with my friends and humans that I admire so much and talk about the stuff in life that really matters. Today, I'm so excited. I'm here with my friend Jess. Most people know her as Jeslyn Gorman. I'm going to read your bio because otherwise I will have nothing structured because we're going to have basically like our 3-hour lunch. It won't be 3 hours, but we're going to basically do that sitting here with microphones. Perfect. And I cannot wait.
No. Totally the same.
It's totally the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I wish we had sushi. I'm sorry.
You know
Next
what?
time. I didn't get your rider.
Come on.
I know. Okay, so Jeslyn Gorman is a world-class vocalist and performer who has taken the stage as a backup vocalist for many artists, including Meghan Trainor, Jason Derulo, Nick Jonas, J-Lo, Rita Ora, and global superstar Taylor Swift. Performing in sold-out stadiums worldwide, she brings firsthand insight into excellence, teamwork, and showing up under pressure. Beyond the stage, Jeslyn, my dear friend Jess, is a breast cancer survivor and thriver. I'm going to add that in there because you are just ultimate badass. Sharing her story in the Eras Tour docuseries, she is a passionate advocate for women's health, using her voice to inspire resilience, awareness, and empowerment. Today, she blends her experiences in music and life to connect with audiences in a meaningful way, encouraging them to step into their strength and own their story. Yes, I am just so excited to talk to you. I always love talking to you, but I feel like with what we've kind of discussed of how much you want to share your story to impact others and so that people can benefit from it, it just lights me up because that's like my whole life's mission.
Totally.
And so whenever we've gone together, over the past several years, like since the beginning of this and talked about that, I feel like there's just so many amazing things that we've discussed and empowered each other to feel. And I'm excited that we can share that with people today.
Yeah.
So obviously we want to hear about your story, but how I would love to start is hearing kind of like from the beginning, how you found your cancer and what that looked like for you.
Yeah. Well, my friend Elissa, I think it was probably Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which makes sense for
that tracks.
These type of posts. But you posted, I don't even remember the extent of it, but was just pretty much like, check yourselves. I got mine at stage 4, and like, you never know, all of a sudden, like you might not have any symptoms and just like, oh, wow, pops up. Mm-hmm. So I was living in Santa Monica at the time because pandemic and there was just no jobs at the time. So I was like living with a roommate, but it was nice. I was like not far from the beach, but I was just in bed and it was like morning and I was like, oh, maybe I should do a self-exam because I've done it at that time. I think I'd done it once before. And I was like, oh, it doesn't run in my family. There's no chance, whatever. I don't need to do that. But I was
same.
But I was like, maybe I should because Elissa just told me to. And so I did. And then I found it. I found a lump and I was like, well, I don't know if that's been there for a long time because I don't do these often, but this doesn't seem like normal. And so I asked some friends, I was like, have you ever found lumps? And many of them actually said that they did, but it was just like
cyst.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
And some of them just left it. Some of them got them removed. And I was like, that's what it is. It's just a cyst. And I went a couple months without getting it checked. And I was like, I think it's just a cyst. And then my friend was just on me like, Jess, please just go. And I didn't have a primary care at the time because the one I had moved to another location and whatever. And so I was like, oh. So it was an extra step I had to take, not just like, my normal doctor, like, hey, I want to come in. And so I ended up getting it checked in February of the next year. And then she was like, this looks a little bit concerning, but we're not sure, but let's just... Or actually, no, she didn't say concerning. She said, this looks like it could go either way. Let's get it checked just to make sure. And so I'm glad that she was like, she gave me that.
Took it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then there weren't any mammograms or ultrasounds for months. And I could have gone to a different hospital, different anything, whatever. I was like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, because we don't think we have cancer.
No.
We're being responsible enough, but like it's not like we think it's like imminent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just do it end of May. So many months later. And so I was traveling at the time on tour, and I was like, okay, well, when I'm home, like during the week we were home. And so I think it was May 30th or something like that. And I just went in and did a normal, just not normal. I hadn't done them before, but I did a mammogram ultrasound. But I went in thinking like, oh, we're just checking to make sure that it's not that. We're just confirming that it's not that.
I like that mindset, actually.
Yeah, I went in just being
There's
like,
no benefit to thinking that you have cancer in advance.
No.
Ignorance is bliss.
Hello, thank you. And I was just living in the bliss, thanks. And I was like, yeah, this is just confirming that it's anything. And if we need to take out the cyst or leave it, whatever. I feel
No,
great.
wouldn't that be an inconvenience and whatever? We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And so then, the radiologist came in and was like, well, this is highly suggestive for malignancy. So
Okay, so they kind of gave you a hint, like toward, because I didn't really get that. I still thought I didn't have. In hindsight, the radiologist hugged me for a long time.
you were like,
I was like, oh, she's so nice.
Yeah,
I really just didn't think.
Did you hug everybody?
Yeah.
Or, very nice of you. I know this is really uncomfortable for me, so thanks. No, so the tech was doing the ultrasound, and she wasn't really answering any questions. She was just taking the things, snap, doing the things, and like I was just like, did you normally say things at this time? Are you not saying anything because it's something? And so then she's like, just give me a second. I'm going to go talk to the radiologist and see, just talk to the radiologist. I think they're probably trained to be like, we're not going to say anything other than that. And then she came in and was like, and I could already tell the moment she walked in, I was like, normally doctors don't come in. They just like, okay, you'll get the answers later. And so I had this like, stomach drop of just the radiologist walking in and saying, okay, so we see something here and it's this and it's that. And, it's highly suggestive for, no, I think I asked her in, just looking at what you have, what do you think? And she said, it's highly suggestive for malignancy. And at that time I was like, what's malignancy? I was like, because literally I knew nothing about cancer my whole entire life. There's nothing, thankfully, in my family and my extended family except one friend. But even then I wasn't in the doctor's office with them. I didn't know.
And they weren't like, hey, Jess, I have malignant tumors.
Totally.
Like I have cancer.
I have cancer. Yeah. So I was like, does that mean that it's cancer? And so then I left. I obviously just broke down in the car on the drive home and then had to just go back to work the next day. So it was like, okay, what do I do with this?
And were traveling, or were you in LA?
I was traveling. Well, at that point I was in LA. We had like 3 to 4 days off at home. And then we'd fly to the next city for tour for like 3 days at a time. So this was on like just the during the week break.
I remember that schedule because it'd be like, okay, are we on the 3 days where I could possibly steal Jess for lunch?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I think it's Wednesday. I think it's this.
I think we're safe.
Yeah,
I think we're safe. Yeah.
Sushi, great.
Sushi.
And so, and then I think it was, I don't remember. The next week, so I went and traveled, did a weekend, then came home, and then that's when I had my first oncologist appointment to give me more than just the word cancer. Yeah. And that's when I think it was that week that I called you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so kind of giving that from my perspective now. So I'm so fortunate that I've gone to be friends with you for probably about 15 years now. I met you like when you first moved to LA.
I think so.
A lot of, mutual friends since Eric, my husband, went to Berklee College of Music, and all of you amazing musicians, like all of our, like Mario and Nick Trill, all them living in a house together.
In Woodland Hills. Yeah. And we'd go and there was a jam room.
I feel like that's when we probably first met. And,
probably,
you were always just someone I would always be excited when you were at, something we were at, and just such an amazing person. And of course, we like know each other, right? But when you messaged me on Instagram, being like, I think it was something along the lines of like, do you have time to chat? I knew it was something more serious because it's not like we talked every day, right?
Or straight to, do you have time to chat?
Yes.
What do you want to chat about?
Yeah. And my immediate thought was like, okay, Jess is on tour. She probably has a friend or a family member that is having a scare, just got diagnosed, and like, so I mean, it was like, yes. And so I remember we got on the phone, I was in the car, and I'm in the mindset of going to find out someone that Jess knows. And then when you told me it was you, I was like in shock, like, whoa, wait, what? And that, one, I felt so happy that you felt comfortable reaching out and talking to me. I am so glad that you listened to my post, even if it took a while. It sparked for the time of finding that and all of that stuff. And I like to believe too that it's led to why you want to also share your story so much.
100%.
And I am myself, and on behalf of the cancer community and everyone as a whole, we benefit so much from that and appreciate it.
Do you think they would like that you're speaking on behalf of everybody?
You know what? That's really a pretty shitty thing to do.
Yeah. Really shitty. Yeah. Like, so sorry, cancer community.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I apologize to everyone in the cancer community right now and speaking on your behalf.
Let's take a poll and then
let's take a poll. If you agree that Jess sharing her story is helpful, comment below.
Oh my God.
I bet you can't do this on any other interviews.
No. Nope.
I love
it.
You
can't do it. Yeah.
But I've been thinking a lot lately about this. I think I mentioned this to you, of how a lot of people will say to me, like, because I'm so grateful that people do feel comfortable reaching out when they do want to advocate more, share their story, and they're not sure how to. And I say all the time, like, you don't have to share it with everyone. Like, share in the way that feels right for you. And people like us will share loudly. Yeah. So that people who don't feel comfortable won't have to.
Totally. And actually, I remember you telling me that. You're like, you don't have to, or you can, or whatever's comfortable with you.
What feels right for you.
Yeah.
And that's what's so wonderful about this. Yeah. But say you didn't share more, when people say things like, if it only helps one person, that is bullshit. It is never going to only help one person, right? Yeah. Like, just someone, regardless of having an audience or being a public figure, any of these things, like someone finding out that, like, I was 34 at the time that I got diagnosed. When someone finds out that someone at age 34 got diagnosed with breast cancer stage 4, that's already going to change a bunch of lives.
Totally.
People are going to take a look. They're going to get the thing checked that they might have been waiting on.
Yeah.
But if you look at the one person and say you're my one person that I told, Eric doesn't know. But say you're the one person I shared my story with.
Yeah.
Then you finding that, you getting checked, getting diagnosed, going through it, and now sharing it in such a public way is changing millions of lives globally. And that is one extreme example of a ripple effect. But that's what just lights me up of like, this matters so much.
Totally.
And I think that boils down to, it's not about, the part that matters isn't sharing things on big stages or in big ways or writing books or these things. The part that matters is the overarching piece of us having community and putting ourselves out there in whatever way is comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, as an example, you just went to
Camp Breasty.
Yeah. And like you realized that there were a lot more stage 4 metastatic, unfortunately, but you didn't know if it would, you'd feel like, oh, am I one of the only one? No, like you, like having that community of people that understand is one thing, but then like, as you say, having community outside of that and expressing your story is so powerful because they don't know any of this. They don't know this life, and it becomes our life, unfortunately, but it's like this is normal to us, and all this information is normal to us. Initially, it's like just thrown at you in the beginning, but after a while, you just get used to it, and you kind of forget that not everybody else knows this or knows the details or the ins and outs of everything. And if they knew, maybe they would take their health a little bit more seriously, or advocate for themselves.
And maybe not blame themselves, like on the other side too, like the ones who did take everything so seriously and we did all the right things, right? Like that was something at Camp Breasty that was so powerful to me, was hearing, one, I didn't realize like you don't know the people who are following you unless you talk to them, right? And it's much different in a DM or a comment than seeing them in person. And when people would come up and tell me about how they followed me, since they were diagnosed, or they found me this way or that, and then, a bunch of people mentioned like specific posts that made them feel a certain way or feel comfortable or validated in a certain way. And I would have never known that, and they were like, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, or I don't want to, and I'm like, oh my God, you were like fueling everything and also making me feel like, because even, Eric and people were like, I went to Camp Bresty, went straight to our golf tournament in Andover.
I don't understand.
And then here and then heading to chemo.
No.
And so Eric was like, Elissa, you do realize like in your calendar, you have the podcast with Jess. I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, but you're just getting back the night before. And then and I'm like, uh-huh.
Okay.
Like this
What's your point?
Yeah, exactly. I was like itching, like especially after all that. It's like, this is the stuff. This isn't the work. This is the stuff that fills our cup. We go through all the other stuff that we don't want to have to do, but we do it to survive and to stay alive so that we can live and do these things. Totally. And like, I just was so excited to hear that. I was even at a retreat. We were with the Dear Jack Foundation. We did a couples retreat. And so a few other couples there. And one of the couples, the girl Brie, was so sweet. And she was like, I actually started a registry 2 years ago from we got this. And I've been following you since then. And the registry helped us so much. And I was like, you have no idea what that means to me.
Yeah. And people are probably like, oh, I don't want to.
Yeah.
This is probably just another person telling you this. But you're like, no, I don't get
you see the back end numbers and you see the stats and you know how many people are following or liking, but like you don't know how many people really have the impact changed by that. And hearing that is unreal.
And that it was helpful.
And that was helpful, right? And then another girl, Alana, was like, I actually admittedly know you because of Jeslyn Gorman. And I saw that because she followed throughout some breast cancer, my post or something in a story or something. And I was like, I love that. And I think Jess would love that too.
Yes. But yeah, that also goes to like, as your other point of just like the ripple effect, like the fact that like, it's just nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. Like, unfortunately, you had to get breast cancer to warn me about getting breast cancer. And then I'm warning now a ton of people, careful, like get yourself checked in case you get breast cancer. Like, unfortunately, we're in this club together, but fortunately, by sharing our stories, like testimony is so powerful. Like, even if it's not related to cancer, if it's just like anything traumatic and horrible that happens in your life, if you express it in some way, if you're comfortable with it, even if it's just your friends and family on a smaller level, it still affects them in a positive way. Absolutely. Like, yes, it's like heavy, but like it affects them in a positive way of feeling like, oh, I went through this thing and this reminds me of that. I'm not alone in it, one. And two, like certain things that I learned from my journey, I'm sharing with my friend who's dealing with like infertility issues and things, and certain things that I would share with her. She was like, wow, Jess, the wisdom that you got from your journey is like beyond helping me right now. And it helped her change her mindset and have her just helped her in her journey. And now she has a beautiful little baby boy. But this is Kristen. But yeah, we went on a hike and she was like, Jess, like, wow. And I was like, I'm just saying things that I learned, but like allowing myself to be open and be vulnerable and not worry too much about the like what this means about me and the title of it. Like even sharing this now, or like on like sharing it with on a global scale, it's like, are people now going to label me as the breast cancer girl, or will I still get hired as a singer? Are they like, oh no, she's probably in, just trying to recover and be, I'm like, no, please hire me. I'm singing.
Yeah. And the more people understand about it, because yeah, some people, I get it. Like if you're not in it, just like I didn't know what metastatic meant, malignant, all these words that like we didn't use regularly. But some people might just picture cancer that like, oh, you had breast cancer, so now forever you are just at home having breast cancer. Nope. And that is not how Jess and I live our lives by any means.
No.
And I totally I get that. And what I will do, I'm gonna text Kristen actually after this. We won't put anything without her approval, but she's got to get in here too. We got to talk more about that. But I was thinking about how the three of us had lunch, and
Yeah, you
these,
gave me my belt.
yeah, your championship.
And I wore it like this way instead of this way. And I was like, I don't know. How am I supposed to?
There's the wearing it, and then there's like the
I'm
tough walk.
that girl.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
a tough
You're
walk.
that
You know what I
girl.
mean?
I love that you brought up though that as a prime example, because I mean that's a big thing for me is I look at it like it's not just breast cancer, it's not even just cancer. A lot of the things lately have been a lot around chronic illness, or there's a lot that I learned to empathize with more so with losing my brother 10 years ago, or infertility and other stuff like that. I would love to talk more about the fertility piece, because I know that was a big part after we initially talked. You're finding out all the things about getting diagnosed, and a big step in that is preserving. A big step in that. I was like, oh, we'll edit that. We're not going to edit it.
No, we're leaving it in.
We're leaving it in. Press that over that.
Preserving your eggs.
I'm saying it worse now that I'm thinking about it. Preserving your fertility.
Yeah.
Okay. Just come at me with this. I want to hear your scenario.
You're like, come at me.
No, but I remember this time, and this was amidst you being very active and at a time that you're not, like all these components of it. So I would love to hear, and I've been blessed to get to hear it. So I'd love to hear you tell then how you see it now.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, at the time of diagnosis, I was 35. So I was already like thinking about like, should I freeze my eggs? But it's very expensive. And, but yeah, unfortunately, I got cancer and then it was half off, which is really weird. But
It's like I was thinking about it, then I got forced.
Then I got a
discount,
discount.
but it was a little bit less.
Yeah.
It's a lot of give and take here.
Give and take.
Yeah.
Positive, negative. Yeah. So, the first step is like, well, we recommend you doing chemo and surgery and radiation, and got a second opinion, chemo, surgery, radiation. And because I had a lymph node that was a little questionable, and it was like larger. And so, that can obviously be from, oh, I had a cold and it was just a little larger, or there might be cancer in there. So we had a biopsy and it was negative, but they're like, well, you never know. It might be on the, So that's why I think the size of it and how fast growing it was, and there's a questionable lymph node, they recommended chemo. So with
just real quick on that. So what you just took us through, a lot of people outside of cancer in general don't understand.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, my friend has breast cancer, they're going to do exactly what Elissa's doing or what Jeslyn's doing. Like, it's so specific down to whether or not you have a genetic mutation, what type you have, your specific scenario, what that looked like. Is that more concerning? So I just wanted to point that out because I don't think people realize how specific we are.
Initially you didn't need surgery.
No.
So then when I asked you about surgery, you're like, sorry, let me bring in my friend in here.
Yeah,
so
we had a lunch. I was like, let me bring it. And I try to do that a lot because I realized that early on when people were connecting me with people who had surgeries. I'm like, so now by the time you were calling me, I was well seasoned in this.
You're like, I have this girl who has the same type of cancer. They had the same treatment, and this one had this and did cold capping also. And so like
now we're all getting lunch in Sherman Oaks.
Literally, you put a group together that was my perfect scenario. That was like, great. I got this. Great, Jess, we're ready to go.
And
like,
not one of us
curated.
Not one of us could give you all of that. No. Just like, and that's what I think is so important for people to understand. And that's why it's not that like we just need one cancer story or breast cancer story or a specific thing. We need us all as a community so that people can understand it, and everyone's going to resonate in different ways. Yeah. I had to interject with that. So now, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, since I didn't need to do chemo, they said chemo can affect your fertility. It's possible that you can conceive naturally, like after all of this, but it's possible that you might not. And after 5-6 years of all this treatment, you're going to be older also. So then your egg count is a lot lower because you're going to be in your 40s. And so, so then I was like, okay, I'm down. And so I did all of this while traveling and touring. Well, the first part of it, no, most of it was. So I had to, so with, as you know, well, no, yes, as you know, you have to do like ultrasound, injection, injection, fourth day, maybe ultrasound. And then as you get closer, it's every other day ultrasound.
Okay, I didn't even think of that. You're strategizing that around.
Yeah. And then it's like the last 3 days of it, you need it every single day. And so I sat with the nurse and been like, can you sit with me and figure out the schedule just to see if I can continue everything that I had planned? And she's like, there's no way that you are able to do all of this and not be able to miss out on, not have to miss out on a weekend. And so that's when I, had to share with my team and say, like, I'm so sorry I have to miss. So that was the first show that I missed out on because I was going through treatment for freezing my eggs. And in my mind, I'm like, but this isn't cancer. It's like, no, but because you got cancer, you have to do this in order for your future. So, yeah, so I did the morning of my flight. I had my first ultrasound because in order for me to do 3 days later, the ultrasound, I couldn't do it on a Thursday. I had to do it Friday morning so that when I got back, that's the day that I had to do my next ultrasound. So I couldn't, it's like I planned it so perfectly. I had a flight like, I don't know, at noon or something. And so I did like an 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Ultrasound. And these are ultrasounds that go inside you, not on the outside.
No scans are fun.
No,
These ones are not fun.
They're also not fun. Nope. Very clinical. But they're literally, if some of you don't know, they're literally counting how many follicles you have in your ovaries. I'm doing this because this is what they did.
Technical motion.
They said this, and then they did this. And then they tell you, how the injections go. And so I didn't realize when I landed, that's the time that I had to give myself the injection because it has to be the same time every day. So it had to be before I got ready for the show. And so I was like, okay, so I can't wait till I get to the hotel. I had to go into an airport bathroom. I don't know if I told you this.
No.
Literally landed and was like, oh my gosh, I have to do it right now. I've never done this before. Also, you have to be your own nurse. You have to like mix things together.
You're like, they're trusting us with this?
Yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, thankfully, I'm like detail oriented, but like, what
Did you bring like a friend in with you or do you?
Nope. Because I was flying by myself at the time.
Oh.
Like, I think I don't even I think that I chose that time because I needed to. So I was flying on my own.
So you created your own doctor's office in the bathroom of the airport.
And everybody was looking at me with literally an open thing of needles.
What city?
Denver.
And
I'm like, so sorry, everyone. It's medically necessary. It's not. What do you think it is? And you have to like, the needle that it came at like as is was like a really long one and I needed to take it off and put a smaller one. So right before I gave my injection, I almost forgot to do that.
Oh my gosh.
And I would have just been like putting it in the wrong organ. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
And so anyway, you have to like mix the liquid with the powder and then mix it up and then you do the thing. I FaceTimed Kristen actually.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, Kristen, you've done this before. Can you just FaceTime me?
What a great example of a crossover here.
Crossover, Kristen. And the service was horrible. And I was like, can you see? She's like, not really, but I can hear you and I'm here for you. I was like, thank you. And I'm like, I think, is this right? She's like, I think so. And so she's just there with me and I have this off and I just was like, okay, you have no time to like wait. You just got to go for it. And so literally I just went, okay, here we go. And I just like went for it. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, love you. Talk to you later. Bye. And I just like, because a car was waiting for me. I was like, okay, I'm coming to take me to the hotel. And so I was like, okay, well, I did it. And then the next day was the show day and I did the same thing. I'm all dressed in my outfit and then I have to give myself this injection before I go on stage. It was just very weird. It was my first time doing something for cancer. Like it wasn't my treatment for cancer, but it had to do with like the reason why was because cancer. And so it was such a weird feeling of like, here I go, but I'm also still performing. It was like, it was a weird start to something that was like, it wasn't like this ended and now I start. It was like this, like, oh, I'm doing it at the same
There's no
time.
right way to start cancer.
No,
There's no
apparently
one
not.
way.
There's no one way.
I really love as a part of this story that the person who is able, just how we said, I like curated this lunch of different people who could help with different aspects. The person who could best be there for you to talk through the shots for freezing your eggs was your incredibly close friend who had been going through IVF.
Yeah, again, someone who went through a horrible time shared with you what she was going through, and now I felt comfortable with having this moment with her because she shared her story, her very heartbreaking, horrible struggle through story, and now I'm about to go through mine, and I was able to lean on her because she shared it with me.
Oh, that's much. And I know like it's such a great example too of, I'm sure, again, not speaking for Kristen. But I would imagine, as the amazing human that Kristen is, that like that probably was such a great way for her to be able to support you in something that she hadn't been through, but like that was a piece that she could.
And also was another big reason why I asked her to come with me to my last chemo infusion.
And
Yeah.
I got to see you guys that night.
Yes, we
We
did.
had drag queen bingo in my backyard.
That was so fun. And also I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna feel up to it. I just got chemo today, but I'm like, but also I'm all drugged up, so I'll probably be
I
fine.
was like, no pressure on it, but I have a feeling you're gonna have crazy adrenaline.
Yes. Oh, and I did. And I went and I sat there on that nice little VIP couch that you saved for me. And I said,
And we played
yeah.
bingo.
And my
we hung
friend won a
out.
prize. And I was like, that's mine, actually.
Yeah,
Today's
yeah.
my day.
Yeah.
No.
You play that cancer card.
Yeah,
You earned
it's
it.
just me. I
Yeah.
still have it. Okay. Yeah.
So you successfully froze your eggs, went through that whole process. How long between that and starting treatment was it?
Well,
That was
I
Denver.
actually have a little bit more on the
Oh,
freezing egg. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
right after I did the retrieval, which was a surgery, Jessica.
Yes.
It was a surgery. Literally the next day I had off and just like laid around looking very pregnant because my ovaries were giant.
They were plump. They were
Plump and juicy. And I and actually one of the doctors that was doing like the ultrasounds and stuff, she called me oh, she said that. I was like, "How many are there? How many follicles?" And she named she told me the number and she goes, "Yeah, girl, you're juicy." I was like, "Is that a medical term?" I was
sounds
like,
good.
I was like,
It sounds
"I will
successful.
take it," but also, I don't know, I want to call my ovaries juicy. I was like, "But whatever, like it was a laugh in the moment where I was like, ouch, this hurts." But anyway, I had one day to just lay around. And then the next day I went on an airplane and joined the tour like a crazy person.
I remember the conversations leading up to that though. And it was
I was
so
like, I'll be fine,
it
right?
was so real though of you like knowing that, I mean, you're not even supposed to exercise
No.
at all after that. I couldn't physically walk back to the party bus that we took to see you perform in LA, let alone be able to perform like in real that. But I remember us having that discussion because you were like, I know they're saying this, but it might be, and weighing it out. And weighing out this thing's one's a new reality of all of
Right.
this.
I'm like, but I already missed one, so I don't want to miss another one.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell them, so I don't know. And so I just showed up.
Doesn't
and
surprise me, and I'm glad that you did. Although it was arguably probably a little dangerous.
Yep, shouldn't have done it. My doctor was like, you have a risk of contortion. I said, oh, what does that mean? Well, your ovary will twist and burst. I said, oh, okay. Well, I was already there at the time. I was like, okay. So I just like tried my best to like leave the bottom half still and the top half do all the movement. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then the next weekend was LA. And that's when we filmed. And I was like, I'm not going to miss that because my doctors wanted me to start immediately because I had waited all this time from doing all the egg freezing and everything and timing and all that, that it was like, okay, hello, you need to start your chemo. I was like, nope, I need to be in this film. And so I did that. And then right after the last show was like the weekend. And then I started that Monday. So I started August something, whatever the Monday was after the last show.
I saw you August 7th in the show, and I think there were a couple more after. So it was like, yeah.
So like the
sometime around
13th,
then.
12th, 13th, 14th, something like
It
that.
was literally the shows ended, and then
Yeah. So you saw me like right after all of that had happened, and I'm like, I'm got this. I'm here. I'm gonna be good.
I'm so grateful I got to come see you, and thank you for that. Like, and you took the time to come out, so we got
my God.
a nice hug and little dance with each other before getting to watch you on stage. And it was just the timing of all of that and what you did. Like, you deserved to get to be in the documentary. You deserve to have your story told. You deserve to get to be on stage. Like, you know, there's so much that cancer takes, and there's stuff that's just like non-negotiable. You got to do it, and we got to also stay alive and survive. But like, you squeezed out anything that you were allowed to do to go beyond that survival piece. Like you did, and you deserve to do that.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you did. I'm so also just like, it makes me so happy that you do something that you love so much that you have every reason in the world to not do it. And all you want to do is do it.
Yeah. And it was like a big part of what made my recovery as fast as it was. Like, it wasn't fast, but it was like, I know so many women after going through all this, it takes them a really long time to get back to feeling a little bit normal. And I think because I had this incredible thing to go back to, I was like, you're gonna push through the pain. You're gonna push through the discomfort, and because
Well, it's safe and in the right way.
yes, I did get approval. I did get confirmation. But yes, I think yeah. I think a lot of the like side effects from chemo and radiation, like, this sounds crazy, but surgery was kind of a breeze for me. I think because I had gone through chemo, and like chemo was just so like not fun. I mean, I avoid feeling nauseous at all costs. Like since I was a kid, like my brother used to have motion sickness, and he'd be and all this, and I'm like, I'd be so like scared of him being next to me and just like, getting sick. And so I just tried like to avoid feeling nauseous. And so like chemo, I think, was the worst for me. And then surgery was like, okay, I've dealt with like painful things before. Like,
it's a bit more linear.
yeah.
It's a bit more like you kind of have an idea of what you're going to feel.
True.
Whereas chemo, I mean, Eric always knew my schedule of side effects better than I did.
Yeah. You're like,
I'd be
well,
like,
today is about
I feel
time."
fine. He's like, you will feel fine today. But in 2 days, you're not going to feel fine. And then I'd be like, I'm really down and depressed. He's like, I know, because this is day 4.
He's like, I know when the depression comes. I know when the nausea comes.
And speaking of that, you had one of the most amazing caregiving friends, Justina.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say further than just like, she's an angel on earth. Like, yeah, after I fainted and hit my head, she was like, you're never going to be alone for any of these chemo infusions. And thankfully, she was able to be there for a good amount of them. And then whoever was available for the other ones, like a group of friends like came and flew in for my birthday, and then my chemo was like the day after. And so a couple of them stayed and took care of me. And then for the last one, I had someone stay, and then Justina came the day after, and she was there for like my hydration, because apparently chemo dehydrates you and lowers your blood pressure, and maybe you faint.
Advocating for hydration is a big one, because that wasn't in the protocol like initially in my chemo, and it was other friends and people that I got connected with who were like, I get hydration a day or 2 after. And so then I asked them, and they're like, yeah, we can do that.
I would have done it from the start if I knew that that was something I should do. And especially since like the second infusion, I did hydration the next day, and it didn't change my blood pressure. Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts.
So I think my body was just like, nope, this is another one of those. Heck no. So, excuse me, I felt lightheaded, and I was like, yep, we definitely need the hydration. And so drove to, I think because we had to delay that treatment a little bit, we ended up going on a Saturday. And so not every place was open. And so we went to like an urgent care place, and I was like, great, give me the hydration. And so I remember just laying there and waiting for it to finish and being like, I'm going to feel great after this. I'm going to feel not lightheaded anymore. And I didn't. They did my blood pressure and it was the same when I started. So, but then like third and fourth one became a little bit better and a little easier. So I think it was just the first two that my body was like, what are you doing?
What is this?
What is this? And why are you giving it to us? Yeah.
I know. One more thing about Justina that I probably have even really expressed this to her fully. I remember when you were having your surgery, and we've been preparing in advance, getting you that pillow system from Sleeping in Pillows. And so I was texting with Justina to like coordinate that.
Okay.
And then when you got out of surgery, she texted me like a picture or something. And I appreciated so much that like she didn't need to do that. I did not expect her to like take that time while helping you. And like to make me feel included because we were all like there to support you. It's just like next level caregiving. Where you're like, I'm not only here for the person I care so much about, my friend, but like I want to make sure her friends are up to date.
Oh,
and like
she would update, our close people.
I can only imagine if I was getting the text, and it's just these things are, it's like, it's okay if they don't happen. Just like it's okay if it's not only okay, it would have been more than understandable in what people expected if you hadn't gone and done the show.
Right.
But it's also like the people who are there to support you when you want to do it.
Yeah.
And I love that Justina was here with you through that and on tour with you.
Yeah.
It's like you really hit the jackpot.
I mean, even when I was doing like the injections for freezing my eggs, she knew that like drinking water and staying hydrated was important. And so she would leave, you guys, she would leave a little coconut water in my dressing room and be like, for your eggs. She's like, for your eggs, heart, Jess. I was like, thank you. And so she was just such a wonderful, like she is such a great friend. And in that journey, like she stepped up in a way that I was like, you don't have to do all of this, right? And she's like, no, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
I always say to people, it's not in what you do or what you say, it's in the intention and how you do it. And we don't want to ask people for help and do things.
No.
And you would never ask of her what she did.
No.
But she didn't let you ask.
No, she didn't at all.
She made it, she wasn't offering it as a question. She was offering it, and not like she was like, I'm forcefully here.
Yeah.
Of course you wanted it, but letting you know that like, this isn't something you have to ask of me. This is something I'm doing because I want to.
Exactly. Yeah.
And not everyone has to do that either. And it would have been understandable if she didn't. And in between tour dates, she wanted to just relax on her own.
Well, actually, she said that by taking care of me and like being there, it helped her slow down. And she's like, I don't have these rest days. I actually just go. Like a friend of mine. Do you know what stop is? It's just go. I think that's your like favorite word.
So you can't really give me a hard time for that because we just talked about you.
Me being like, I'm ready.
Like, how many straight but yeah, we cut from the same cloth.
We are a little bit. But I will say that I don't know if your meds, I'm pretty sure they do because we've talked about this, but my like post like I don't even know, remission meds, like I'm on endocrine therapy and these meds cause me to like feel like all the things, but one being like low energy. And so I find myself these days not being able to do as much as I used to.
Totally.
And so I'll like want to do all the above, but I'll have to say no to some things. And it actually feels like empowering to say no to some things now, whereas before I was just such a people pleaser and just like, absolutely I'll come to your event, absolutely I'll be there for your and what do you want me to do? I'll bring this, and do you want me to make the arch for your birthday? Like all the things I'm like always just like yes and what else? And now I've learned that like I can't do everything, and that's okay, and just prioritize what you need. And even like in my family, like my sister had gone through a really hard time the same time I was going through a hard health journey, and hers looked a little differently, but usually I fly in and I show up and I'm the one that like, okay, what do we have to do? Let's go. And for the first time I wasn't able to do that. And so at the start of chemo was the first time that I had to really look myself in the mirror and be like, you aren't hero. You aren't God. You aren't this like angel swooping in and being able to be this for everybody, how about you just be that for yourself? And I think for so long, being the youngest of 4, I just like make sure everybody else is okay and like monitor everyone else's emotions and, oh yeah, sure, you want this or whatever. And I had to learn, like, you have to speak up for yourself in more settings than just the doctor's office.
100%.
Like, you have to say, no, I'm so sorry, I can't be there for you, but I'm here for a phone call and to be there for you from afar or whatever.
Yeah, I love the way you just said that. It like clicked in my head how we talk so much about advocating for yourself in a medical sense, but we never talk enough about advocating for yourself in your life.
Yeah.
Like your ability to live. Some things, you don't have to be all of that. And there's certain things where you want to do it. I was just talking to my psychiatrist about this the other day. Shout out to Dr. G. She's the best. I was saying how I was just fitting in ridiculous amounts of stuff. Right? I was at Camp Breasty. Then we had our biggest fundraiser of the year. And then coming back, chemo, and you know. And so she said to me, she said, I'm not going to discourage you from doing those things because I know you well enough now to know that those things are really important.
Yeah, and you also enjoy them.
And you enjoy them.
Yeah.
But amidst that, always identify the things that you can knock off and then plan for it. So if you're going away for a camp, plan the couple days before that you're not in back-to-back meetings all day, or you're not doing a million things. And then set those expectations with the people around you.
Yeah.
And it's still hard and it's a constant thing. But like once we identify this, it's not just like, oh, I don't want to do this or, oh, I can do this or that. Like we deserve to think out our lives.
Yeah.
And like do it intentionally the way that works best for us.
Totally. And I'm now learning that just like the try it and see what happens kind of way versus like a doctor telling you.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I can't just do things back to back for 5 days. Oh, I just like am a dead person on the couch right now today. I shouldn't have said dead person, like that's,
you know,
but also
we're not dead it's yet. Okay now. We're not.
But yeah, like
there's no wrong thing to say here.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. I do know that with you. I can just like blurt out anything and you're like, absolutely, I'm here for you. What else do we want to talk about?
Well, what I'll say about that too, because when we were talking about, I want to address the fact that there was these few years of you living with cancer and finishing cancer and doing your job and your life and your passions and all this stuff that no one except for the people who directly knew you knew that you had cancer.
Right.
So back to the beginning of that a little bit, I wrote about this. Thank you for letting me do that in my book about.
Now you can say it's me.
Now I can say it's you. It's very cryptic.
You're like this person.
This wonderfully talented friend. I think it says Jessica Gorman. I don't know.
Maybe. No, I don't know.
No, we said Jeslyn.
No.
Did I say Jess?
Maybe you said Jess.
No, Jess. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Whatever.
But what really struck me about when we would talk about this is I prepared wigs leading into chemo. And it was mainly because that's what everyone around me was wanting to help with. And in like with very good intention.
Right.
But so I just felt like, so that's what I'm going to do because that's what everyone's telling me I'm going to do. And that's what I see, and I'm going to lose my hair, so I need to replace it with something.
Right.
And once I did lose my hair, I was like, I actually feel really empowered right now to just be me of where I'm at.
Yeah.
And a ton of beanies was more my style.
Yeah.
And I just was that. And I was at home living a very different life situation at that time than you were during your treatment. And that was what was right for me. I also am metastatic, so doing cold capping, like had I done that, I lost my hair twice already. Yeah. So I probably would have, it's a lot of uncertainty and all that kind of stuff. Your situation is completely different. So we wrote about it and talked about it. I would love for you to talk about it in your voice.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult, right? Because it's like if I didn't have a job where it was in front of lights and people and, and me needing to look a certain way, but it might be me wanting to look a certain way, but also like you kind of do, like I wanted to feel most like myself, like after all this and during. And
maybe not being quite ready to if I'm bald, I might have someone in the grocery store who knows I have cancer, right? But if you are on stage, you have people all over the world who now know you have cancer, whether or not you want them.
Yeah. And what if I didn't want to share that moment, which I didn't.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to draw attention, honestly. Like it was like, yes, this happened, but also this really cool thing is happening. And I don't want this news to kind of be out at the same time. Like, I didn't want to draw attention to me. And I think that's maybe just who I am as a person. Like, again, being the youngest of four, just like, shh, be quiet, your dad's sleeping, or whatever. Like, I was like, oh, it's okay, and it's fine. And so I just didn't want to, draw attention to me and something that was like heavy and sad too. But I knew it would come out eventually because I wanted to share it. But yeah, if I was bald, there'd be no way that I could, like I could have a wig and make it almost as close to my natural hair. But even then, like.
And that on your head for over 3 hours, like that would have been, oh man.
Yeah. And what if that fell off because I'm sweating and, whatever. So I think even like when I wasn't working and doing the show, I'm at home and even people around my community would then see. What if I didn't want them to know yet, because they would go and say something and news gets out pretty quickly. And so also like in a grocery store, I don't want everybody looking at me maybe and being like, oh, she has cancer. Like,
it changes the conversation, the way you meet people, and how we handle that is so individual.
Yeah, and if you're at like a party, what if you want to talk about other things? What if you don't want your whole life to just be about cancer in that? Like, what if you want to talk about like this person coming in town for a concert? Are you going to go to their show, or like what's up in your life? And then they won't tell me certain things because they don't want to put it on me because I have cancer, and so don't want to put too much on her because she's already dealing with a lot. No, please, I want to be your friend.
Put it on me. I want to hear about other people's problems.
Yeah, please. And so when you don't have the option, I feel like people treat you differently. People, the conversation goes different ways.
What was it like cold capping, like the process? I hear about it from some different people. I know it's so different. Yeah. And a lot of people might not even know what cold capping is. Like, it's literally freezing your hair follicles.
It's literally like a ice pack helmet. Is how
and you look good in it. Everyone's like, oh, you have cancer, but you look so good.
You're like,
oh, you're freezing your hair, but you look so good.
Wow, amazing. Feel like crap. So it's literally like you have to, it's initially you put the cold cap on and it's like a brain freeze down your face for like maybe 10 minutes. It feels like longer because you're just sitting there with like your whole face feeling brain frozen. Brain frozen.
Yeah, 10 minutes would feel like a million years.
Oh my goodness. And it was like you just had to sit there and just let it just do its thing for a minute. And then your whole scalp was numb. And so like it is kind of a weird feeling of like it's not in pain. It's not brain freeze anymore, but it's just this weird numb feeling and you're just cold. And then like similar, like you put the ice pack. So it's like that, but on your head.
And so, same premise, like freezing the pieces so that the chemo doesn't get there because it's not as targeted.
Exactly. So this is trying to keep the chemo from reaching your hair follicle to prevent it from falling out. And so right at the end of my like 3 weeks of my first infusion, right before my second infusion is when I started like shedding. And it was like a decent amount. And so it was like scary at first. I was like, wait, is it not working? But they had warned me that like between the like first and second infusion is when you will go through a shedding phase. But at some point it'll stop and you'll hold on to more and it'll like the shedding will start to minimize. But it's like every time you wet your hair, like apparently water weakens your hair.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so I only washed it once every week and you had to like treat it like glass. Like,
yeah, I remember like, sorry, I'm picturing that. And in that moment, because a thing that I kept needing you to remind me too, and I think people need to like fully hear this multiple times of like you still lost like 80% of your hair.
Oh, for sure.
Right, and people don't realize that, like, because I wouldn't even realize because you're so good at doing it, or you know how it is, and you feel that differently because then you're preparing it for what the world sees.
Totally.
For anyone who has hair loss. And the amount that you have to be so careful with products and other things.
Oh, and you can't really wear any products.
Yeah.
If you do, it has to be the most like baby delicate, like curl cream that has no parabens, no sulfates, no fragrance, no anything in it that can possibly irritate the scalp, and or any like hold type thing that will make it a little bit more firm or crunchy, because that is keeping it now tight, and you have to brush that through. You're already trying to brush through like little knots of hair that's already fallen out, but then you have to brush through the product. And so now you're tugging at your hair.
Yeah.
And so I barely put anything in it and left it like fluffy, because you had to like keep it brushed through, but you didn't want to brush it because you knew that hair would fall out.
Yeah.
And so it was this balance of like very gently brushing, and anytime hair would fall out, it would create a little mat. And so you have to like hold it and take out the mat, and you're like so careful with it. And then they didn't want me to put like a ponytail holder on it, because that would do the same thing, create tension. And there's weight now on it, on the hair around the outside, as you put a ponytail on it. So it was that, plus try not to wear hats, because that's pressure on it too. So then like when I was at home, it was just like letting her free, but it was like dry and stringy, and then there was bald spots underneath, and then around here it was all like I'd lost the whole like what is this called?
Hairline?
Your hairline.
I can't believe I got that first try.
Thank you. Another side effect of my meds is brain
Another
fog.
side effect of cancer is that you can read other cancer patients'
like
minds.
Yeah, so there was quite a bit lost. So I would wear like little headbands or like a very loose fitting hat.
Yeah.
And I would put it in a very loose braid and just have like little hairs here. And one thing I will recommend, if you ever have to do this, do not cut your hair. Do not cut it into layers. Do not cut it short, because otherwise you have no way of putting it back. And it's just,
oh yeah.
And so I had shorter layers here, and I could never I was like, get out of my hair. And I couldn't put hair clips. I couldn't put bobby pins, because that's attaching to the hair at your scalp. And so you're pulling it out. And so keep it long to where you can put it in a loose braid and let her live like that.
Yeah.
But it was helpful just in society when I didn't have to I looked like a normal person. People that knew me obviously knew that, well, that doesn't look like her normal self, but like she looks beautiful this way, you know? And I was able to it took me like an hour to get ready every time I wanted to step out of the house, because I had no lashes, I had no brows, just like the faded microblading that I had prior, underneath, and then my hair, and I needed to and so I had watery eyes as a side effect. And so even gluing on lashes, it would slide and fall off, and I couldn't rub my eye. And so I was like, it was a struggle to show up in a way where people weren't going to look at me, you know? And I was like, well, sometimes you're just going to have to deal with it, you know?
I think that's such a real balance too, of on one hand, from everything that you're saying, it's so amazing how far we've come with that cold capping even exists, you know, and that's an option, and that there are things that we can try and they work differently for different people. And there's still a lot of aspects that still come with that people don't see the behind the scenes. It was really special for me when I did watch the episode of the docuseries, when I got to see shots of you getting ready. Because I feel like I've seen that in my mind of you explaining it, and then getting to see you actually do it. Because I always think about, and correct me if I'm wrong on how I'm explaining this, but you would be like, you know, I'd have it back, and then I wouldn't know, is my hair just going to rip out on stage? You're just going to be walking down, and all of a sudden your ponytail's going to fall off?
And in that clip, my hair had started growing back, and so the bottom half had met up with what was there left, and so it started to get a little thicker. The top half was maybe this short, and so I had to really slick it down for it not to poke out. And I would say that was the most difficult, going back. It was trying to be careful with it, but I needed to put really hard gel or a waxiness to try to keep it down. Otherwise it was just growing outward, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. So but when I first went back, it was it looked like the tiniest little ponytail that I had, because again, I only saved 20%. And so,
which is really incredible when you say that, because I needed to be reminded, because it looked like more, right? And because you're putting in all this time, and you know how to kind of do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I had to
had that been me, I would have never been able to stop.
You're well, here it is. Yeah.
I just I'm not good
You're
at that.
let's throw the wig on.
I was so impressed by it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think maybe all these years of performing, I have a good grasp of how to do my hair. But with this, it was like, okay, let's get creative here. Like the wet look is really in with short hair. And so I just like put a lot of like wax and gel and stuff, and I just like slicked it back and let it be just like kind of a really cool wet look, like when I wasn't performing. But when I was, it was like, yeah, the first day that I went back, it was like, will this ponytail attachment fall off? And there were times where, because it has little bobby pin like things that go through your ponytail, and then you wrap it around with like a Velcro type of thing. But even then, like, how many bobby pins are really gonna, like, is it gonna stay? Are they gonna slide out? Like, there's
Yeah.
not much
Can't use like
there.
Gorilla Glue or anything.
No, and I used a gel that was like Gorilla Glue, but the first day back, I didn't, because I was like, "This is the first time I'm putting anything in it," and honestly, it was for 6 months that I didn't put barely anything on my face, on my hair, and so then going back to, like, do my makeup, it was like, "I wear these lashes?" I put this on, I put the and it felt very foreign to me. Like, 6 months is a long time to be not doing a thing that you used to, and it was weird to, like, come back to a thing that I had done for so long, and everything was the same, but I wasn't. And I showed up in this like, "Huh, like, this is familiar, and this is, like, a thing that I do, but also, like, what?" It was just so weird that I was bringing my new self here, and that was even more of a shocking moment of, I don't know if you'll ever get back to how you were before, because you went through this and now you have a new normal. This is new you, and you can take the good and the bad and embrace it and try to, like, use it for good in so many different ways. Like, yes, I don't have all my hair, but guess what? I have a solution, and it's okay. If it falls out, then everybody will know. They're gonna know at some point anyway, like, if you fall on your face.
I mean, you're the definition of continuing to live. Like that is, I mean, that's been what I've told you from the beginning of just like that's been my life's mission is making sure that regardless of whether or not people have cancer or, these drastic life-changing things, and most of us have something that changes us throughout our life. It feels so special to me that like special in a hard way, but in a very relatable way that you have these little reminders of this in
Mm,
everything that you do.
right. Yeah, I mean, it's a reminder in my career, and my, like, personal life, and my family life, and my friends, it like, once you're done with cancer treatment, you're not really ever done with it. Like, it's always on your mind. Like, unfortunately, you live with it for the rest of your life. Hopefully, I don't ever get it, but it's always on my mind of trying to prevent it, doing everything that I can to prevent it, just as you are.
I've identified more with it recently since being NED the past like 10 months because I've identified, yes, which is amazing, so excited. But then I've identified with how it feels for people who don't understand the full scenario, which I don't blame them, to think that I'm all better. Like they don't realize that I still am heading to chemo every 3 weeks. Like nothing in my life changes. And so that made me feel like it was the closest that I could relate to survivorship. And I'd love to hear how that's been for you. Like what happens after all that and how that's felt.
I mean, it's always on your mind. I think the reminder of, like, when you're like, my lashes aren't really growing very fast, so I'm like, "Okay, well, gotta glue these lashes on," or not. I'm like some days I'm like, "Whatever," and this is just me. Like, I went to the dog park the other day, and I had nothing on my face and just a hat and my hair or whatever, and I was like, "This is me." So I'm getting more comfortable with just allowing myself to be me without feeling like I need to be perfect all the time, which is really helpful. That's a positive that cancer gave me, is this, like, feeling of, let go of the little things that don't matter and try to embrace it and get comfortable with showing you your imperfect, flawed self. And so the first time I did that was really uncomfortable, but now I'm getting so comfortable with it that I'm just like, whatever. And I forget if I have makeup on, or if I put lashes on, or if I did my hair or whatever.
And then I feel like when you do it, you feel like I did it because I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like I did it because it makes me feel good too.
Yeah. But also because, like, I didn't feel like doing anything. And I'm going to the dog park. Like, I don't care if I like whatever. Like, this is real
Your
life
dogs love
me.
you no matter.
Oh, my babies. I love them so much. And Reese like helped me so much throughout my treatment and everything too. He was a sweet boy. But anyway, it's like also, just as you share your story, if you share yourself in your fullness as you are without trying to mask things that are imperfect, people relate to that. People realize like, oh, I actually don't have to show up as my perfect self either. So even if I'm not sharing my story and my testimony, I'm already leading by example in a way of you can just be yourself. And I think the more we do that, the more we relate to people and have these connections of like, that's okay. Because guess what? We're human.
Yes.
Like, I'm just living in my humanity and that's okay. Like, being perfectly like presentable in public is not a necessity. Like, you can just exist as you are, and that's perfect in itself. But along with that, all those good things, it comes with like still struggling through side effects.
Totally.
Like, what I haven't talked about recently is that like my new medication causes hair loss. And so every time I wash my hair, I'm losing hair. And I know you dealt with a bit of that too. And it's like, wait, no, I just got it back, you know?
And it's very triggering of like, am I losing my hair or is this just extra shedding? Is this normal shedding? I forget what normal shedding is.
Totally. Yeah. No, and every time I take a shower, like it's like a good amount coming out and it's just like, okay, but yeah, it's triggering.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate to have a thick head of hair from my mom. Thank you, Mom.
We love those genetics.
Yes, thank you. And so I'm just like embracing what it is and like, but yeah, going back to like, it's not over when it's over. Like, yes, I completed my treatment that comes with like the laundry list of side effects, and I'm just on endocrine therapy now, which is still treatment.
Yes.
I'm still...
Which I think gets minimized a lot. Just like how freezing your eggs gets minimized. These things affect our bodies an incredible amount.
And your hormones, like without estrogen in my body, I have to deal with a new normal, a new showing up for myself, like in many ways. Like, it comes with this brain fog and this like forgetfulness. Like, my memory is not great these days. And also what I'm thinking, I haven't been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I might have ADHD now, or I've always had it, but because women...
I wasn't saying yes, you have, like, yes, we've related on this.
Yes, you do, girl. I know. I've been waiting for you to...
That's like when I say that to people, they're like, and I'm like, oh, you all knew this.
Oh, got it. So why didn't you tell me? But yeah, like, I haven't said that even out in public to many people, but it's like, these things are affecting my everyday life. Like, I just moved and I feel like I'm still in full chaos because like I can't complete tasks. I just start a bunch of them. And I'm like, this is not how I used to be. Like, what's happening? And if I really think about it, it all started once I was put in medically induced menopause.
I mean, our brains are changing. And these are the things, again, like that so many people can relate to that don't have cancer. Like perimenopause, menopause, other things. Even just PMS and like periods like can cause those types of things. And it's just, it's the kind of thing where I was, as you were kind of, the past 3 years, I think we've been talking about like when you're sharing your story, how you're sharing it. And I think, you know, I hope I've been a good sounding board of that, of just kind of like being there for, and I think the way it got told was so wonderful. And I'm just so happy for you and that it got told in such the perfect way.
Thank you.
I hope you feel that way.
I do. Yeah. I'm glad, like, it felt very positive and like you did it and look at you now kind of thing. And although that's really wonderful, I also want people to understand and see that there's like, it's a balance, and just because it looks all pretty and shiny, like, in that aspect, like, know that like you're not alone in also things continuing to feel very uncomfortable and different. And yes, I got back to a thing that I love to do, but also like it came with a lot of struggle
and still
before
does.
and after. Exactly. And you know, I'm reminded every day when looking at like my hair being short, which I think is very cute. I'm not saying it
does.
looks fat.
It looks so good. And
like
that,
it.
but again, that's not the point. The point is that like even hair shedding, like I lost like half my hair like 10 months ago, and I don't think people could really tell.
Yeah.
But I knew.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that I cared aesthetically. It was really hard pulling out all of this hair and other stuff. And that's the piece where it's so the visual, right? What made me so excited watching the telling of your story, having known that it's been so many discussions that we've had of how you want to tell it and how you want that to come out. And then I feel like once you break the seal, then you tell it more and more and think of these different pieces.
Yeah.
But I can so relate to that with I really enjoy being able to take a piece of this and put it into a way that anyone could watch or see and understand what we're going through, you know? And I think it's hard to give everyone all of it at once. And that's why it matters so much to me to do podcasts, to do short form content, write books, write articles, because I think we all need to absorb it in different ways.
Yeah, and reach people in the way that they receive it the best.
Yeah, and how amazing that it helps us. Like, I don't know if it helps you. I know for me, therapeutically.
Are you speaking for me?
Again, guys, like, I don't know what's...
No, it does. It is very... relieving for it to be out, one, and two, for it to possibly help someone else, just like yours helped me, and also just to like not be hiding anymore. Like I hid my hair, I hid my side, everything. I was hiding everything for so long, and I still kind of do a little bit here and there, but it just feels relieving to be like, okay, I can exist as I am now on even just another level. Like I can just show up as I am and not worry so much about what people think or trying to hide something and keeping a secret. Yeah. Because that can be exhausting.
And a lot of people don't realize that, like, that's the piece. It's not that cancer's over. It's that was that piece of cancer. And within that, so many pieces. Yeah. Chemo, radiation, freezing eggs. Like, there's so many micro components to that. And then now you're just in a different stage of cancer. And you always will be, as, you know, however you identify as a survivor, thriver, however people, that might even change. Like, I know I'm constantly changing the way I view myself. Yeah. With telling your story and all of that, shout out to our manager, Stevie at Eagle Management. I remember when this was coming out and like your passion to want to tell it. And I was like, here are the things that have just lit me up and filled my cup. And I don't think that exactly the way I'm doing is the right way for you, but like, how can I help connect you with who can help you figure that out, right? Right. And I'm, you know, would love for you to be able to share with people just like, you know, what you're doing, where they can find you. Like, what are you enjoying of this, and what do you want to be able to do more of? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, calling.
Eric.
I like, again, I knew that I wanted to share this at some point, and so here I am sharing it. But I knew that during my whole journey of it all, going through treatment and stuff, I knew that I wanted to do something with it, and I knew that it wasn't just for me. I knew it was for the people around me and for whoever hears my story. Like, I knew that there was some purpose in it. And so I'm now stepping into speaking, which is very scary for me because I've always been very afraid of public speaking. And which people are like, what? You sing for a living on a giant stage? I'm like, but that's different. You have people on stage with you. There's music happening. There's choreo, and it's all planned. And, you know, like with this, like,
I mean, like, I don't know, but I know from you telling me.
Yeah, I've done that too. You want to show us a little?
Please don't ask me to sing anywhere. But I totally get that.
Yeah. And although you can prepare for these speaking engagements, it's like you're just up there by yourself. It feels a little naked. It feels a little like there's nobody behind you to like help you like save a moment if it's awkward or whatever. But I haven't done them yet, but when I do, I'm going to just remind myself that these are all people that will benefit in some way of my story. And all you have to do is just share the story. Share the story, share the feelings that you got, the wisdom, the overcoming, the like what you did to get through and where your mind was at. For, like, all of these things are helpful for people who either have gone through things or are going to at some point, and they can be reminded of, oh my gosh, that one time I'm going to do it like that. Totally. And now their experience is just a little less hard because of something that I maybe have said. But also that's a lot of pressure. I'm like, do I have something profound to say? What are the one-liners that they're going to take away with them? Like, I don't know.
I think this goes back to the, like, if I could just help one person, like just you having the courage to go to the event and get up on the stage and talk before you say anything, you've inspired people and you've changed lives.
Yeah.
And I just think it's such an amazing world in this. I love that we get to be a part of it a bit together and with Stevie, part of it, because I feel like what this all is amplifying the things that are so important to us. And like, that's the legacy, you know, and that's a piece that means so much.
Yeah. It's your story. That is like you said, legacy. It's long living, and people will remember the story itself and things that you say or how you treat them, or that, oh, she did that huge thing, but still got cancer. Yeah. Cause cancer isn't picky, you know?
It's not picky.
No. And also like just a real person. Like, I'm just a human person from a small town down at, you know, like have very regular parents, very like Midwest morals, you know, and it's like, once I think speaking in those environments and allowing people to see that I'm just a regular person and there's things that we can relate on, and, you know, we all go through hard things. And like, one thing I say a lot is we're not here to do life alone. And like, whether it's sharing your story with a friend, a family member, or on a bigger scale, like it's still very impactful and very purposeful. And even if it has nothing to do with cancer, it'll still help people. So I'm hoping that will resonate in anything that I do, because that's really the whole purpose of it.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you all of that, of course, yes. But in addition to that, what we see from the outside, and I can tell you from my perspective, is, and not sharing from anyone else, this is just my, from my perspective, you're extraordinary. And it's not because of a lot of the things we've discussed. It's because of some specific, it's all of that, of course, that's a given. Amidst all of this, and you being 3 days away, 3 days here, you know, when I was diagnosed, my 5th round of chemo, I started wegotthis.org. And that's the first nonprofit gift registry for cancer patients. And I started this piece of a mission, knowing that we make it too difficult. Like, this has to be easier to support each other. And in between you touring all over, doing treatments yourself, everything that we've discussed, you would take the time anytime I had an event for We Got This, anytime we had an initiative, you did how you described Justina being your caregiver. Like, you were doing that for the cancer community before the cancer community knew that you were in it. Like, that gives me chills. Like, that is so amazing. And there's a specific scenario of when the LA wildfires happened. I got a lot of people asking, how can I directly support people affected by cancer in LA with this? And I was just not sure yet. I was like, I don't know, but we can utilize the registry to fundraise specifically for that. So we ended up raising a bunch of money. And what I was going to use a lot of it for were air purifiers. And luckily we got a lot of them donated. And we ended up doing camps with it for retreats for people who were affected. And we gave micro grants to different families. And you asked me, what can I do to help with this? And I was like, well, there's all these different components. We have about 25 air purifiers we're going to deliver. So I was thinking that I would ask like a few different volunteers to do it. And you're like, no, I'll do all of them.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
And that's where, like, you know, I still get uncomfortable asking people for things. I'm like, we don't have to do all of them. We can do, and you're like, but why?
Too, girl. Yeah.
Why?
I can just do it.
And I'm like starting to create extra work for no reason. So then you, and I want you to say this from your perspective too, but from my perspective, I get these text messages of videos and pictures of my dear friend Jess, who is in the pouring rain delivering air purifiers to people's doorsteps.
Yep.
And these people who are survivors, thrivers, patients, all throughout LA, affected by cancer, they're in treatment, they have anxiety, and they have to deal with wildfires. They have no idea
that it's me
that it's Jeslyn delivering this to your doorstep.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them weren't home. And then some of them that were, I just dropped them at the door, and then they saw me walking away, and I was like, bye.
And I mean more now that, like, it's more public of what you've gone through. This was, how long was that? Over a year ago?
What, the
wildfires was like,
yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, this happened, and then here we are, like, over a year and a half later, and whoever's listening that got an air purifier from wegotthis.org, Jeslyn here is who delivered it.
It was fun though. I mean, I maybe could have postponed to another day that wasn't rainy, but I was like, no, this is the day that I told her. This is when I'm picking them up and I'm shoving them in Justina's SUV. I was like, can I borrow your car? She's like, okay. And yeah, honestly, I think I already had like obviously compassion for everybody who's going through, because I was going through it or had gone through it. I don't remember. What time was that?
Yeah, wildfires like a year and a half ago, a couple years.
Oh, so I was going through radiation at the time. Yes, it was January before I went back. Yes. So, no. Was it the year later? I don't remember.
We already mentioned chemo brain, ADHD, and all that.
Here we are.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No fact checking.
Yeah, no fact checking, please. But I just wanted to help in whatever way that I could. And like, just like show up for people, like, and them not know, like, I mean, I'm just Jess. Like, I'm just a person that gets to do a really cool thing. Mm-hmm. But like, who I am, especially going through cancer, I didn't associate myself with this cool person. It was just Jess, like who I was as a kid. Mm-hmm. I'm just me. I'm my parents' daughter.
I'm just Jess. Like, just kidding.
Yeah. And it's just like, I feel like cancer just like humbles you so much to just like this human person of like, I am just here like going through this very human experience of trauma and heartbreak and devastation. And you don't even think about the things that like, that are cool, that like really like boost your ego a bit. You know, it's like your ego is not even a part of this anymore. It's just like, how do I get through this? And so then you connect on a more human level with all these people too. Not to say that I wouldn't have prior to, like, you know, I would have been there in a heartbeat.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is you as a person would have volunteered anyway. But it's not about that one instance. Just like it's not about the big moments. It's not about just ringing the bell. Yeah. It's not about just the fact that you did all these amazing things while going through treatment. That is inspiring and that's amazing. But it's the bigger piece. It's when you zoom out. Yeah. That's who you are. Totally. You know, and it's that piece that's going to continue to inspire everyone.
Thank you.
I'm just so grateful that you exist, that you're my friend. Just love you so much.
I love you too. Thanks for having me on this.
Oh my God. Thanks for coming.
Like initially scary, but then I sat down. I'm like, this isn't scary at all. This is great.
We just get to talk.
I mean, we don't have sushi, but
I know. We can do a part 2.
Okay. You're like, I'm so sorry. I didn't get your rider.
We'll do it at Aroha.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, excuse me, no cameras.
Yeah. Well, so as we close it out, is there anything that you just, want everyone listening or watching this to know? Cancer, not just like in general in life.
I think stay vulnerable, stay honest and transparent with the people that are closest to you, because the more you keep things to yourself, the more it'll eat at you and make you spiral into stories that aren't true. And I think the best moments that I've experienced in the past 3 years have been with like very, very personal one-on-one times with friends like you and family, and just like heart to hearts. And I think those are things that last, that stay with you for your whole life. And like pieces of those memories stay like just like tattooed on you, and you bring them into other settings, other environments, and your work environments, and your relationships with your kids, or in the future with grandkids, whatever it is. Like those things are what stays with you. And so the more we exchange life with each other, the more we'll do life better for ourselves and the people around us. So it's not only about sharing your story, but it's about being there for each other and like allowing someone to feel the safe space for them to be themselves.
I love that so much.
I didn't even think about that. I just was like,
that's why I didn't want you to think through too many things in advance. I say all the time that nobody should have to face cancer alone. And cancer's just a word that you can fill in the blank for anything else. And it's not only that you shouldn't have to, but you don't have to.
You don't.
Like,
yeah.
we don't want you to. We don't want anyone to. And I think the more that we talk about that and we build up the community and people know what community exists, everything that you just said is such a realistic reality for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a family that we really didn't talk about our feelings very much. And so this is something that I've kind of like broken the chain with a bit. And I want to encourage and promote that. I even do that within my family, and I think for some people it's very uncomfortable to be like, what are you asking me that question for? Or I'll express my own feelings, and that's already uncomfortable for some people. And it's like, let's normalize talking about our feelings when, like, for so long in like the older generation and many people who feel like that makes them look weak. It actually makes you stronger. It actually
100%.
makes you and the people who you're talking to and your community stronger by being like, we're in this together. Like it's one mind and one person versus like a community of minds and people that like we can all uplift each other and like be successful in many areas of our lives because we can relate to each other.
Exactly. So. And it's not just like a saying that I threw on, like the we is something that I thought so much about.
Yeah.
And it's so much that we constantly are saying you or I or I'm okay, I got this and that. And we really need to train ourselves and each other to know that like it's a we thing.
Yeah.
Like we all have this together.
We got this.
We got this. And you sang on the song.
That was right after I like fell and hit my head and got my start. Yeah.
Oh, that was so special too. Man, I could talk to you for hours. I actually have to head to my infusion. You're welcome to come join me.
I mean, girl, I can always come support you.
All right. Well, let's talk
Are
about
we bringing donuts? Is that what we still do? Or?
I do like to bring things to them. I have some Lego flowers in the car. Will you help me? Do you want to come with me to Encino to my infusion right now?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay. We're literally going to leave right now. We're going to go to my chemo infusion. Yeah. I have my other camera. We'll do that on the way.
Amazing.
All right.
Yay. So we're not saying bye. We're just
not saying bye. We're taking this on the road. Yeah. People probably hear this
taking
well
it on
after.
The road. I've heard that before.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for sharing your light with the world because we are just so lucky to get to witness it.
Thank you. I love you, friend.
I love you too.